Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Don't be afraid or discouraged. For the Lord your God is with you. That's what he said. The red dirt cryptid crew is on a mission, headed deep into Dogman territory, so let's roll. Are they paranormal or supernatural or flesh and bone? Who knows? Dogman is a mystery. 9 foot tall, a bright canine, it ain't supposed to exist. 500 plus pounds, the mystery of Dogman. Searching for the truth, are they Nephilim agenda? Government, biological weapon, or another of God's creation? Red dirt cryptids, yeah. Yeah, deep dark woods hold the answers, boots on the ground.
All right, so here we're back at another episode of the Dogman Files, where we try to, get to the bottom of things and separate the fact from fiction. The last time we talked about, Catherine Cross and how her gravestone was starting a whole bunch of rumors, and we kind of went through all that. This time we've got Joe and Pat on here, and they had some crazy stuff happen to them last March, was it?
Yes, it was.
March. Okay, so, but I don't think you've been introduced to the people on my team. Eric, he is kind of one of our tech guys, and he's, I think he's, what state are you in right now, Eric?
State of confusion.
Yeah. Okay.
A state of disorganization. New York.
So
I grew up in Buffalo, New York area, and I'm along the Pennsylvania, New York, up in the hills of the New York.
So, and this is Coleman. Probably need to unmute Coleman.
You good?
There
Nice to meet you.
Hi,
nice to meet you guys.
All of you guys. All three of you guys.
Yeah, and Coleman does a lot of he's kind of like my paranormal consultant, and he's also our liaison to the younger generation, although he hasn't done a very good job of telling us how to crack the young people enigma. But but no, seriously, he's also pretty good in the field, we've found out, and he's pretty handy. So, but he's primarily, like, if it has anything to do with ghosts or paranormal or portals, I just refer it to him, because I barely speak that language. But I'm learning, and Coleman's been teaching me a lot. Usually Scotty is with us, but he's on his way back from Falk, Arkansas. So, and he's been down.
Summer's our road trip vacation time.
Yeah,
We're still squatching around the country, but from air-conditioned vehicles.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot this month, and to be honest with you, I'm kind of looking forward to school starting, because once that happens, nobody expects anything from me anymore. So, but anyway, why don't Joe, Pat, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourselves, where you're from, and what you do, and what your hobbies are, or whatever.
Well, my name is Pat Harrison. I am originally from Cincinnati, Ohio. I grew up in California. and moved back to Cincinnati when I was 13. I've lived in Florida for many years as well. When how I got interested in the subject is it was roughly around 1967, 68. My parents had a family friend, someone they had worked with, stop by and came over to visit, and him and his wife brought a canister of film, and they asked my dad to pull his projector out, and which he did. And what they had on the film, I heard them talking that they had a Sasquatch on the film, and it was where they had done an expedition in North California. But we weren't, as children, weren't allowed to look at it. So that time passed. A few months later, we had went over their house, and I was sitting in the room. I was not allowed to see the pictures, but he handed some pictures over to my father and showed him from the expedition these pictures, and that he was going on another one. And that sparked my interest. I did not see the Patterson Gimlin film or anything like that. Is how I become introduced. That was the way I was introduced. So I've always had an interest in them anyway. And I also lived in Ohio. So that was even a bigger interest because, it's just a known fact. You hear a lot of sightings from there. I did, after widowed, I wanted to go find. I just recently retired, and I was going to go get some of my questions answered, I thought. But in the meantime, I had struck up a friendship with Joe, and we were friends for like about a year. And now we're together, and I live in Louisiana most of the time. And he is my research partner, and we go out together.
Well, I've been an avid hunter and fisherman most all my life. We live near National Forest, and as well as we have a little bit of property around out in the woods too. So I was always into sci-fi type stuff. Monster Quest. Before that, it was Leonard Nimoy, that kind of stuff. And so, believe it or not, we really didn't know much about it down here where I stay at here in Louisiana. We didn't have that many sightings or anything going on as I was growing up as a young man. And so I learned a little bit as time went on. Well, finally we started getting some wood knocks and getting whistled at in the woods, and then realized what it was. And it just evolved from that the last 20 years. And I think there's more of them down here now since the comeback of hogs and whatnot. I think it's just more of them around. And we've been chasing the woods and, being out since we got together. And we've come across some nice audio and what video we have. We put it together in the last few years.
So let me ask a kind of a dingy question here. Are Dogman even on your radar?
No.
Right?
No. I didn't believe in Dogman personally.
Okay.
We spent a lot of time just trying to accept possible Sasquatch being real. To take that in at first was out and experience.
That is weird. I kind of got into this because of Dogman and kind of the opposite end of it. So, well, so why don't you walk us through, first of all, why LBL? Why were you there?
Well, our first time we got to go was a couple of years ago, and it was to a meet and greet. And the other folks, that was irregular for them to get out, and that was a good place for everybody to meet and greet in the central part of the country. And we got out. We had some different uh, things happen while we was there. No sightings. That was they had sightings perhaps, but we didn't have any. And so we wanted to go back really bad, and we got approached the first part of this year about that we're going to have a meet and greet up there in March, and from a different group. But we had an opportunity to go with some friends, so that's what we decided to do. We was going to take off and meet them up there. They were coming from Ohio and Georgia and possibly Alabama, I think, and then we were going to meet up there from Louisiana, meet our friends. We went on and got a cabin, and we didn't know the weekend of the 15th it was going to have killer storms come through the central United States, and we had quite a few fatalities and all, and like 3-inch size hail was reported in Missouri. High winds was supposed to be throughout the lower middle United States, central middle United States. Mm-hmm. And lo and behold, that was the weekend we was going. And so they canceled the meet and greet. And we didn't find out till we was going to lay over in Memphis, Tennessee. It's about a 10-hour drive here to LBL. And we was going to lay over in West Memphis, Tennessee. And we got a call, said they had canceled. And so I got to the room. I told them, I said, I'm going to get on Messenger, find out from everybody if they're still coming. I want to go. We was a day early. And we got on the horn with everybody, said, no, we're coming. It don't matter. We're going to go. So we had no idea that it was going to be as rough as it was. And it just skinned around us, best I can tell you. Anyway, we got to a room, and then we got out and went looking and stuff. But that weekend, it just things fell together for us to even be there and not be at something to take our interest away, and just wanted to get out and thermal at night. And I bought a new thermal. It's an AGN 25 by 384 rifle, Rattler 2 rifle scope thermal. That's what it is. And we just bought one in January or February, first part of February, last part of January. So we've been out working with it. So we wanted to bring that, show our friends what we had. They was wanting to get a better one for themselves. And that's kind of like, what had happened. We got up there and we went out thermaling the first night, seen a bunch of animals, but nothing, no cryptids or nothing like that. So the next night was a Saturday night. The weather moved through, and then it kind of opened up during the day. And that night came, we went, got a bite, then we was coming back and said, if we don't go now, we're not going to get a chance to go again. We got to go home tomorrow. And we got 10 hours. They got 7, 8 hours. So it's going to be all you can do to get out of here tomorrow. So we went on out that night. It was around 10 o'clock or so. And then Miss Pat started from there.
We were dealing with severe storms and in between. So that's why we went out at the time that we did at 10 o'clock at night. And we really had nowhere to be as well. But the entire weekend, it was just storm after storm. We had to, thank goodness that we rented a cabin, because usually we tent camp and bring the camper as well. But we didn't this trip. And they were calling for, I think, softball-sized hail. And it was severe weather. 100-mile-an-hour winds. So there was a lot of moisture in the air, a lot of humidity. So Bud was wanting to purchase a camera like ours. He was interested in it. He had a thermal on him. Plus, we had another group of people. There was actually 7 of us total that went to this camp out. And we were in the cabin together. There was 3 other individuals in another vehicle, and they had 2 thermals there. So, but they were at a distance behind us. So Bud and I were switching back and forth, looking through the thermal, and he was. We were look. He could see really good through ours, but he was unable to see anything through his. We saw a lot of wildlife. A lot of wildlife had come out because they were predicting some more storms would be coming through, probably maybe about 4 a.m. And this was like 10 p.m. at night already. So and there was a little bit of fog. So as we were coming through the back roads there, a lot of wooded areas and hills and things, we come to one area as we come around a bend that it seemed to open up from a wood line, and it was cornfield. It was a lot of cornfields there, and there was a wood line that ran down through there. We learned later on that was the wood line was along a creek, and there was woods around that. But as we approached and come around that curve, and just at that certain angle, I was sitting behind Joe, running the thermal, and had it pointed a little bit forward where I could see. It seems to work better. And I was sitting directly behind him. He was driving. Our friend Bud was in the passenger seat. And as we come around, I see an upright figure, very large, and it was moving, and it was very unusual. And I said, and the thermal, which has Wi-Fi capabilities, was connected to Joe's phone that he had mounted on the dash. So Joe and Bud could see everything that we were looking at, as I was looking at. And they saw the movement and everything too. And it was a short distance away. It was probably about 150 to 200 yards at a distance from us. And it was kind of like behind a wood line, or in between a wood line. And it looked like two split, but it was very large. I couldn't tell if it was one individual or two, but I was taking it as one at the moment. So we pulled up, and I said, I've got something. So we pulled up there, a matter of just, a few seconds, and we stopped because I stayed locked in on it. And Joe could control the thermal, like snapshots or the focusing in and out, and he can even start and stop the camera. And I told him, it even states in the video, I said, start recording, because I had something. And there was no leaves on the trees or anything at that point. This is mid-March.
Right.
If there was very little. But there might have been like on a few bushes. But whatever this was hiding from us. And I could tell it was hiding behind like a bush or some debris there. And we sat there a few minutes. I knew I had something, and I just focused in on it. Joe never took his foot off the brake. He kept his just foot on the brake. The truck never went into park, or we never did shut it off. So this is why you have a little bit of movement on the video itself. And what he did is, for a few minutes, it was hid, and then all of a sudden it turned around and faced us, and it squared up at us. Actually, I did we all got the impression like, come on back here, or you don't want to come back here.
Mm-hmm.
And we knew to pretty much keep our distance, and we knew we had something at this point. You never realize what kind of shock that you would be in when you experience something like that. We could not see it with our naked eyes due to there was no light source on it. The night before had been a full moon, but you've got storms all in between there. The film is a little bit on the grainy side due to the humidity. Nobody else's thermals were working or could penetrate through, and there was a little bit of fog right there, except ours. And we show that, and we show those clips where people can see those.
Mhm.
But it just stood there and stared at us. Everything was slow movement.
Mhm.
It even put its arm up over its eyes or something, or mouth, and everything was very, very, very calculated, very slow. It would go from the right to the left to back in the center, and that's how the movement went. And then we sat there probably like 10 minutes, and Joe had said that Joe had shut the camera off. But I didn't know the reason why he shut the camera off is he said that with the 10 minutes, it was hard to, process that and move it over. So this way, but he had to just shut off. And I said, turn it back on. But in the meantime, Bud, the passenger, had got out of the truck. And about that time, the back truck that was with us, Stephen had got out of the truck and met him over, and they took the thermal from me. Bud was going to walk out to it, whatever it was. And when Joe had when he was kicking the thermal back on, I said, we had already been there 10 minutes. And there was like, everything was slow, calculated movements. It had a way of leaving, but it didn't. It just stood there. And I finally had said, well, if you're standing out there, light it up. And because they had a high-powered flashlight with them. And he couldn't see it. But he did describe, even in the video, that there's a creek. He could see a creek that was, and whatever it was, it seemed to be standing on the other side of the creek. But he could not see it. We didn't hear any kind of noises or any vocals or anything. We didn't smell anything. We didn't see any eye shine. The only way that we had of any way of seeing this was me looking at it through the lens and them able to see it on the phone. And that was a big responsibility at that moment, because I felt that I was responsible for everyone's safety at this point, in case it would come. And this way I had to stay focused and basically keep it together in case we needed to move. But when Bud was standing out there and Joe had turned the thermal back on, which he got another 6 minutes, a total of 16 minutes on the thermal, it hid from Bud and it turned sideways. But it was watching him, and you could see the eye sockets. There's a heat signature on the abdomen area that I kept picking up. I could see, I did document on the recorder as I was looking at it. I tried my best to document as much as I could see. I saw a snout, I saw ears. I kept saying that I'd see breasts or something in that abdomen area, kept taking my focus. I could see like a lion's mane. I could see hair. I could see a little bit better through the glass than what Joe and Bud could see on the phone. And when Bud got back in the truck, the thing turned back around and faced us again and just stood there. And it stood there for a period of time, just everything slow, calculated movements. And then Joe wanted to try and drive off, and I'll let him finish that.
Well, we discussed, believe it or not, while we're watching it, it's doing a lot of different things. It has its back to start off with, and it looks like you could have easily passed it by and not even realize the signature was there. Then it turns around and it's like white splotches. I don't know if y'all got to see the film yet. And his face is lit in places, and his torso and all is lit in places. And I'm thinking, what in the world? You know, we all thinking that. But and we went for a long time. We were mulling over everything. We was talking about 1,000 things, 1,000 really fast, and going through all of our minds, all kind of stuff. And we got along there, you know, about 5 minutes in the next tape and the next recording, and we was getting antsy to the point where let's see if we can get it to move. So I said, I want to move up a little bit and see if it'll move. And somebody else said, well, Bud had said, I heard him in the background talking about, well, if we pull off and we come back and it's gone, we know it's done this and there's something else. But, you know, we went through so many weird thoughts. It's just uncanny what went all down. But so when I started to move off, my brakes squeaked, and I just had the brake pedal pushed. I didn't have the in park or nothing, and so we get back on it, thank God, because it already moved. While she was off of it for a second, it already shuffled around there and moved up to another tree. It looks like on the film to me, and so when I start easing off the brake, it takes off, and so you see the main character, the main subject, take off, walking down the hill to it slightly, but down into the creek because there ain't no hill there. And then behind it, you look real close. It's another signature going left to right. It stays up higher up. It's huge, bigger than the one that went toward the creek. And then I see that. It took 4 months to see the next one. Go back and look again. I slowed it down, and it's a little white signature just in front of in the last part of the tape, just in front of the one that's coming down the hill. I couldn't see why it would want to walk toward us. You know, when it could go easily away from us and get away from us, it walked down that hill toward us. But truthfully, it wasn't no hill; it was that by bank. So I don't think it could be. I went back and looked at terrain. I went and looked in. Everything I thought I need to look for debunking all this, I looked high and low to find somebody around there parked, all kind of stuff. But we'll talk about it in a minute. And when it started down the hill, I finally seen it. It was a little one. So before the middle or the main subject starts walking down the hill, it's a little subject out in front. You can see the outline of it barely. Well, it takes off walking just slightly before the other in slow motion. You can see it. So when they get to this big tree they all go behind, they're walking staggered down the hill like that. 2 sets of legs, different size creatures. And then this big one's cutting across the back, and it goes to the same tree kind of. And they use it for a slight place to get out of our sight, I guess. And then they kind of go, the way it looks, they angle off up the creek, going away like that, up to the corner of our film. They all angle across the film, going away through brush. You can't really see through the limbs and everything. I don't know how much leaves was there, but through the brush and all, you really can't see with glimpses of them. And they take on off, all 3 of them. So I got 3 different signatures walking at the same time that, without a shadow of a doubt, I could see that. Now, it could have been another one in its arms. I don't know. Miss Pat was set on different things than I was, and I just couldn't see it, so I wouldn't say, for sure what we had there. But it started out being 1 creature and ended up being 3. And then you start playing off, well, what is one? I mean, you might play off 1, saying it's this or that, but how in the heck out this bad weekend, all the bad weather, then something at night, there's 3 of them walking off at the same time. It kind of is a little bit stretched to say it ain't some kind of cryptid doing that. And to see the size differential and the look, and I looked at so many thermal pictures of deer and coyotes and everything, and they are solid white when you see them. Normally speaking, if any distance away, they're going to be a solid white outline from tip to nose to the end of their tail. And this thing shows, as well as y'all see, it's got different heat signatures throughout the body, and it's just got everything different than what you normally see when you see in regular creatures. What you don't see a flashlight, and you don't see a rifle. You know, I thought about the same thing most people thought. You know, there might be a poacher over there. And then they were sitting out looking out the window of the truck with a rifle scope. It don't know that we ain't got a gun underneath it. As far as that goes, I
Yeah.
wouldn't have stood over there if it'd been me. And I was sitting over there doing whatever. And we look back again. I talked to another man. He said, you know, if they'd have warned y'all never got out there. I said, I really didn't think about it that way. And the reason why he said it was we had one thermal, no ambient light coming off that truck, and flashlights was going to pick them up till they got point blank on you. And one creature, you might have got off the shot and accidentally hit it enough to slow it down and it leave you alone. But three of them, and then whatever else is around there, we don't know. But if three of them's coming at you, that's a whole other ball game.
Right.
You're not going to get away from three killers if they want to kill you. Coming out of the darkness and you sitting in their truck, can't see nothing. They're going to be on you before you can do anything. Suck you out the windows, whatever.
Right.
If they're superhuman strength type creatures, they're gonna have their way with you. You ain't got a chance.
Yeah, and what's really kind of scary is when we look back at it, Bud was going to go to it. He was going to flush it out and see what it was. And when he took a couple steps, and thank goodness that it had rained with all the torrential downfall that the rain that we had, that it was so muddy that when he stepped out into that cornfield there in that little patch, that he sunk to above his ankles, and that's what stopped him. And he turned around and he got back into the truck. So it's just,
He's a little crazy, isn't he?
yeah.
Well, and then we went back and reconned it a month to the day later. It was a month later, and I'm out there. I'm taking the footage with my phone because my phone is still Wi-Fi to the. She's trying to get in the truck, stay down low like we was trying to reenactment, and she's trying to film that way. I'm out there in the woods doing that, but I'm taking the pictures with my phone. So when I get to wherever I need to be, I take a picture and show different depths. So I get out there about 70 yards. It's across the creek and there's a limb kind of across. So I'll go over behind the limb and I'm sitting there and I'm taking pictures and all. And I said, well, let me turn sideways. And let me turn this way. You can see the phone in my hand at 70 yards away. You can see the bill of my cap. You can see my clothes being on. You can see a lot of things. Now, Bud's about at 50 and I'm about 70. Now, I will say this. We probably wouldn't ride at the right spot in the creek as far as left to right.
Mm-hmm.
And the main subject could have been back a little further than we thought it was. But I think we was right in the vicinity where it was, but I don't think we was right. We was just a little bit off by that. And after I looked at what we had that I was doing and could see plainly, and this night was a hard night to see, I'll admit it. The moisture had this stuff really not as crisp as it would have been, but it was like night and day difference as far as the recon part for what we caught that night.
And we tried our best to lose it. We did try it. Like I said, we did try and document what we were seeing visually, and as well as markers to try and be able to go back to it.
I mean, we all but lost it walking away trying to find a marker to mark the area. And they found one, thank goodness. But on the other hand, every time you hear about any kind of cryptid, I looked away, and when I come back, it was gone. And that was almost that.
Right. Well, I tried to even take a second at a certain point to try and scan to see if I could pick up anything else. Also, Bud had looked away to go.
He scanned a bunch too, left to right.
And he looked away even for a second to talk to Stephen. And you can even hear me say, "Don't look away, don't look away." And like I said, We made, you never know.
We made a bunch of mistakes,
Yeah.
but we got by with a lot of it too.
Right. We got lucky is pretty much what it was.
Ryan, have y'all all seen the footage?
Yeah. Do you want me to show the footage now?
Whatever
can.
you'd like to do.
Okay. Let me see if I can figure out how to do this. I got. I think this is it. Share screen. And here we go. So here we got. Here's my screen. Now I'm not sure. You sent me these three, and I'm just going to show them.
I got it. Yes, it is.
That's the last part. Can you stop it right there?
Like that?
Can you stop it, Brian?
Yeah.
Okay, take your cursor. You, the pink cursor. That get on the main subject. That's it right there.
Right.
Go to the right and down about a half inch, or right there. Come over.
No.
Come over toward.
No, over a little further
To the
the right.
right there.
Right there.
That's the little subject in that little outline. That's the little subject.
Okay. Well,
That's how. All right, the big subject. Hang on to your deal. The big subject is just like a little toe piece to the left.
Right.
It's about an inch back the other way, about even with his waist.
Okay.
Or to the left hand side. The little one's on the right hand side.
Right in there.
Then right in
Yes.
there. If you can move it forward and backwards, right over to where you was at, you'll see a little white signature over there.
Okay. Well,
That's where the big one's going to start coming from when he starts moving off.
okay. Well, we'll
I
play
got
it
it.
here.
Yes, it is. That's it.
Yeah, you can see some heat signatures.
Like that? Okay.
You see that little bitty one on the left, and
This is. Now, is this the one where he disappears and leaves?
yeah, they all coming across at the same time. But go back again.
Hold on, let's go ahead and finish it here.
Okay.
You can see the bigger one there.
Yeah, you
I
tried
got
to
it.
back up, and
Yes, it is.
She was looking for her markers. Then she had to get back on it.
you got one here. You got
Yeah.
one here.
In the main subject. Now the one on the left looks like it's quite a bit bigger in the main subject in the middle, and of course the little one, when it gets down toward the tree, you can see two sets of legs. The little one takes off before the middle one is trying to catch up with it.
Uh-huh.
It takes off slightly before. In slow mo, you can see it.
Kind of going forward
Okay,
slowly.
you can do it.
Look at that. That one there, it almost looks like you can see the ears sticking up off the top, like it's looking straight.
yeah.
Oh, you will be able to. Some of them catches.
Look at that one.
Yep.
It took me a month to come to terms.
Looks like the
that-
devil looking around a tree, don't it?
Look at that. It almost looks like a knee, like there. Like maybe it's kneeling down or something.
Well, I can tell you, after months of looking at this film and constantly, especially in the first month, that it just haunted me that there was more to this film. That and I also got with some
Okay, the little one's already out in front of it, going down the hill.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
that it is
And the
hearing
big one's
something.
gonna come across where it was standing, but it's just going left or right. It ain't gonna descend down the hill. You'll see the big legs going behind the tree right there.
Right.
And then it goes off up the hill to the right.
Yeah. And at this point, that's when you put it in reverse and try to get.
No. We went forward, but his signature is disappearing up in the right hand corner, going up too. It's little white signatures going out across there. We're easing up, and they're already walking away from us. They already done took off. Not, they're just walking. They're not. Well, we couldn't tell. It wasn't fast, but the three signatures already gone. So there it is, at the very top up there, coming out behind that tree. Did you see it? Right up under the 25 mark there, you can see it coming out behind the tree. One of them.
Man, that's tough to tell. I'm not gonna.
Yes, it is. I agree.
I mean, short of us going back to this, I mean, this is tough to see too. And, you know,
Right.
a lot of people are probably going to say, oh, this is something
It's not-
else.
They can slow it down though once they
See
get
where you
somebody
might
through.
come to that, but I'm going to have to be on the fence on that one. But
Exactly. We
Yeah.
agree. We're not here to, is all we're wanting to do is we're wanting to present the evidence. We're not here to defend it.
you're on 4 power right here. Well,
Uh-huh.
and I get it. I mean, here's the deal. I mean,
Or convince anyone. We
Yeah.
we want to present the evidence for everyone to see and make up their own mind.
how long did you guys sit on this before you even showed anybody? I mean, this is, yeah, I think you mentioned when I talked to you before that there was, you know, a period of time where you just were sitting on this and like didn't know what to do with it or wasn't sure.
Yeah,
what-
you could, the signature on top of that film, 3:15, 10:20, that's the actual time all that was taken. And the date.
Well-
We sat on it for we did let some folks see it, the film in entirety, but what we did is we kept it close to the vest at this point.
Yeah.
We hooked it up tablet to tablet and played it that way for some individuals to see this. And you know, we weren't going to do anything with it at first. Joe, he didn't want to. He wasn't sure. He's going, okay, it's first time we play this, somebody's gonna steal it. And it's just a matter of time anyway.
Oh yeah.
But it had more to it than that. We didn't know.
Right.
We didn't know if you got government people going to jump you. You don't know any of that stuff.
Oh, you hear stories of that. Yeah.
Yes. And plus
we heard point blank stories. Go ahead, baby.
right. And we were looking into having it stabilized. You know,
Well, that's still on the table. I mean,
and
once you get enough to look at this, somebody's gonna come out of the woodwork with that skill set, you know.
right. So what we did is the first 10 minutes aren't too bad. The 6 minutes, it's kind of all over the place a little bit. And a few people did try and stabilize the 6 minute. We didn't like it. And we chose to leave it raw. And I said, you know, if we're going to present this to anybody, what we do is we were advised also to show it in clips, not to bring the whole thing to light.
Right.
And also to just to do it that way, and that way it eliminates having to do the stabilization. I wanted to leave it. I wanted to be as transparent as possible.
You know.
Is how we want to do it.
Now this next clip here is you're at 8 power is what it says up here. So we'll go through and watch it, and we expect it to be a little bit shakier, more pixelated here, but
sure. Bud has the camera here too. He has the camera at this point, and this is where he is out of the truck and he is looking at this.
Yeah.
And you can see the eye sockets. It's looking at him and watching him.
it almost looks like it's looking to the right there.
It's looking at him.
Got him right there.
Is this the eye right here, you think?
No, up above. No, that's the abdomen there. Right there are the eye sockets. You can see the eye sockets.
Right.
And that's a huge head.
Yeah.
And if you'll see it light up and everything, you can see those are eyes. It turns its back to Bud.
Can you stop the progress right now, Brian?
Yes.
I sent you another copy of that. It's going to be in your messenger.
Uh-huh.
Take a look at it if you can. You can see it maybe a lot better. I don't know how to get rid of those signatures in the middle of it, but you can see it outlined a little better if you can go into your file and just look at it real quick?
Can't do that while we're on the computer.
Okay, that's fine.
Well, here, let's just let it finish playing out.
Sure.
That's
You know,
It's
Let
back
me
is
throw this at you. So,
Mhm.
the first thing that popped into my head was, where's all the heat? Where's the body heat? Why isn't it? Because this is white hot, right?
yes.
Right.
Okay. And because people don't really use the black hot, they use the white hot.
That's
And
what we use. most
but
of the time.
it just so happened that last night I was actually out in the field, and we had this family of raccoons come up out of the water, and they came right up to us. They didn't even know we were there. And I was looking at it on thermal, and kid you not, the first thing I noticed is their tails were cold. And then I realized after I was looking, it's like the whole lower half of their body was cold, but it was because they just come out of the water. They were wet.
Mhm.
And if it's raining and they're walking through wet grass and everything else, I honestly kind of expect this.
We've
And
got alligators that had heat too. They're supposed to be cold-blooded animals. As long as it's got a heat signature there more than the air, you can still get them too.
yeah, it depends on the ambient temperature. So
Mhm. Yes.
there is but before anybody, throws rocks at this, because it's not, bright white, like,
It's like a deer.
it's something to think about, that it's probably wet. And
Yes.
the fur is going to hold the moisture. It's obviously upright.
Well, at this point, what you're seeing right there, it turned its back.
Right.
It turned
Eric-
around and turned its back to Bud because he had taken that step forward.
Eric's trying to ask a question, by the way.
But let's go look at the other one now. The last one, and I think this one's probably the best one. I think it's during the
Start
beginning.
recording.
Mhm.
Start recording. Okay. 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 Okay, it stopped. Whatever it is, it stopped. I see it turning its head or whatever.
Oh my goodness, this has the language in it.
Yeah, look.
So can we pause it real quick?
Zoom in.
Yeah.
So is that what I see? What it looks like? It looks like it's moving. Is that just my perception? Because I don't know if the camera's shifting or not, but to me, like, back it up probably about like 15 seconds, Brian, if you can, please.
We run into the same thing you're thinking about, Cool.
Because it definitely looks like it moves.
Mhm.
I mean,
It's
it looks like
moving.
it walks upright and moves.
It steps down the hill just a slack.
So
Well,
probably
I
about right
see.
there, Brian. And then if you hit play, if you watch carefully, you can kind of notice it
What I see,
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It took a step forward.
It took
There
a-
you can see the face I mean, not the details of it, but I mean, you can definitely see like the little thermal signatures or whatever on the face, where if you would interpret that as the muzzle or whatever, it's definitely clear for sure. That's very interesting.
All right. It does, and you can see his shoulder. I noticed that the shoulder on what would be the right side of the creature is apparent in a lot of frames. So
Zoom in.
it's supposed to be PG-13.
What is that?
well, I don't hear is when I tell her, I think I see a ear sticking up off his head.
What is that? Rebecca,
Is that
The most interesting is the movement to me personally. It's how you see it
Yeah.
moves and it stops and it stands completely still and
Mhm.
watches you guys. I mean, that's very interesting.
But
you can almost see a wrinkle, like a
Yeah,
Mhm.
like a dog having.
like
You know, the head on it, if you notice, what is a Sasquatch head? More of like a long oval shape, about like mine.
not all of them.
not all of
No,
it.
but I mean that has more of a canine even look to it.
Yeah, you can kind of see. Here's the eyes, the muzzle, and you know, like a pit bull will have that line that goes up its head because there's muscle here and muscle there. I mean, maybe I'm seeing things, but
No,
No.
that's what we see too. I mean,
I sent you another one too. But see when this thing stepped out, it stepped out and it was facing towards our left, as you can see. But it takes slow increment movements and it ends up shifting to the right. At this point, is to the right. You
Right.
see that?
yeah, it's kind of hard to tell.
Okay, well, when it
It's
steps out, it's to the left. It's the shoulder. If you'll look at that left shoulder
it takes the
or
appearance.
the right shoulder on it, for us, it is squared up a different way, but everything is very slow and calculated, which I found very interesting.
It takes the appearance that he has his chest out, and I know it's just the appearance of it. Like he's meaning business or she's meaning business, or what, you know, she's not. She's got an attitude that you come up there, you ain't gonna like what you get a hold of.
Now, is at this point, are people out of the vehicle yet?
No,
I don't believe they
No.
are.
no. This is when we first. This is the first few seconds when we came up upon this, where we first started filming.
And this is the point where
This is
Yeah.
when we first saw it.
you thought the
Yes.
thought crossed your mind. This could be a dog man.
We really didn't know at
Yes.
that time.
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you said you thought you saw ears.
I did.
Oh, I did. We did.
But
You see
I
ears right
did,
there.
But I didn't want to tell her that. I just kept that to myself at that time.
Oh, okay.
You
Yeah,
should
like right
say
there,
it.
like you see a snout, just a second. I mean, one click back. It just right there. You know, you got the appearance of eye sockets in the snout, and ears coming off his head.
Yeah.
We wanted to say at the time we seen it, I told her, I said, as long as it ain't got tennis shoes on, we got something. We wasn't looking for Dogman. We were just looking to use the thermal. Then we had this upright, which everything you see in the woods is going to be on fours and it's going to be
Right.
lateral. You know,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not going to be vertical. When you see a vertical signature, you better watch what you see.
You got something.
It's the real. It's a human type, two-legged creature of some kind.
So you guys actually went to the LBL to look for Bigfoot, and then you stumbled on this. At what point did you guys realize that this was definitely not a Bigfoot, that you might have caught something of the canine variety? Was this after you got home and were reviewing the footage?
Me personally, it took me 1 month
You know,
exactly to accept this. 1 month to say, hey, I think I agree. I believe you were totally in the very beginning. You believe that's what it was,
Mhm.
and
it
I
may
stood
have
my
something
ground.
with it too.
Right.
It-
Well,
to be honest with you, we went to the meet and greet. When we left home, we was going to meet and greet, but we had a new thermal, so we was going to use it, you know, if we could. And
Yeah.
it become even better that they didn't show up, so I didn't have to worry about going over around that. All we had to do was just take care of our own selves, get out, look at the woods, get out, use a thermal when it got dark. That's all we really had on our mind at that point. At least, you know, that's what I was thinking.
yeah.
Now we could really do some. We've been doing this same kind of thing at home, riding slow through the woods, checking out the wildlife and whatever. Maybe we get a glimpse of something that's questionable. But this right here was not. It wasn't foreseen this was going to happen.
Yeah.
We was hoping something like this could happen, probably, but I mean, it don't exactly happen very often. I mean, it took us 60 years to see this.
So this is kind of what you normally do. You go and you drive slow on the country roads,
Mm-hmm.
film, and normally, you know, you just end up seeing deer. But
Mhm.
this is and is this something that the group your group does a lot of too? Or
No. We actually do go to. We get together, and basically, really just visit. We do our own going out and any type of researching or looking for something. on our own mainly, except we do go to a private residence that we go to. We sit around and we visit. We don't go into the woods. We let them come to us, and they normally do, but we're usually prepared with film. No, we there's times we go out into the woods. Yes, we go out into the woods and we film, and we walk around and look, and we do that. We're only 20 minutes away from the national forest, and we can go to 2 separate ones. We'll go
Quite a
camping.
bit of road there. We can stay out 8 hours and not go over the same road, no problem.
We have learned that we don't really have to go. We camp in the national forest a lot. We have learned in the past that we really, I mean, we've gone out into the woods and we'll go in pretty deep. We go out into the swamps as well. We have learned a lot that we can just sit around the fire at camp and we'll have encounters.
Right.
Now, Eric, and I think you guys said this earlier. He was wondering if you ever tried to shine a flashlight on it, but I think you guys were saying earlier, correct me if I'm wrong, that you tried to, but you weren't seeing anything. Is that correct?
Yes.
It was too far away, I guess. With no ambient light I could see.
Well, it was foggy too, didn't you say?
Yes. He said it was. He's even stated in the film that he said I can see. He said he said there's a creek back there, and but he couldn't see. He couldn't see what it was at all. He didn't get any eye shine or anything. And like I said, there was a little bit of fog back in that. You got to remember, this was high humidity, and a few hours later we had severe storms again.
Right.
In fact, all of that gray-looking material you're seeing, that's that mist, rain, humidity. You know, where that would be cleared on a normal night, that's what's knocking our thermal down.
Right. And
all that old gray-looking surrounding there.
And this is why the other ones, their thermals were not working as well.
Right.
When it looks like a big fog out there, you can't see it.
Right.
So there were other people out there with thermals, but they just weren't working.
They couldn't see through it.
They couldn't see through this.
Right. I'm going to be honest. I don't have any experience in running a thermal in the fog. I don't think I've ever had to do that. So
we live on a river here, and I got about 100 yards. I can look across the river. Mm-hmm. So I'd go out there and try to see what the rain would do to it. I'd try to see what how much better it was in the cold weather with the critters. And every night they walk across that river. So I kind of got an understanding what I need to do and try to tweak it to where it would perform as good as I could get it to perform.
Right.
We ran across the high humidity in Alabama in the fall, and it wasn't raining. And the other gentleman's thermal that he was using when he captured something, he was getting that high humidity. This was a clip.
Yeah.
That's just a still that's cut out of the clip.
This is a still off of it.
Yeah.
I have 2 stills. And this is what I found. It's holding something. I have looked and looked and looked. I don't know what it's holding. I'm not going to say. But it's definitely carrying something.
You notice how the upper torso in a lot of these pictures seems to be like off center from the rest of the body a little bit to the right.
Yeah.
Maybe like this portion down here is covered in mud or something.
I don't know. It's all I know that is like a lion's mane, a cape there.
Yeah, I kind of thought the same thing too. You can definitely see an ear here, and
the jawline looks different than it looks more canine. The jawline, if you can say a thing. That picture a while ago you had with the little V down the head, that's more of a. Now, y'all studied this subject quite a bit. Do you think an animal with a cleft palate would be able to whistle, as opposed to a Bigfoot be able to whistle?
I've heard of them whistling too.
Have you? Okay, great.
I just kind of wondered, you know, that's usually something you don't let you whistle.
Well, I think a lot of the Dogman encounters, people think they're Bigfoot and vice versa. If it's dark and you ain't getting a good look at it, I would say that they probably get confused a lot. And but it's hard to say. But they throw sticks, they throw rocks, they do a lot of the stuff that Bigfoot will do.
Oh, really? Okay.
I've never heard anybody say that they think they do tree knocks though.
Okay.
But now this is kind of weird. This is a little too low to be boobs. But we do have a picture over here.
That was a diamond in the hole there. We was trying to figure out what that was. I couldn't give it a name. The girl seemed to see it right off the bat when we showed at times. But me personally, I'm just not anatomy strong on the women folk, I guess.
I wouldn't admit that I was looking for boobs either, Joe.
I don't know.
That's usually
if we could ever get it to a better somewhere down the line, just y'all could get it even better. Say like the progression they've done on I don't know if the Patty film would be a good subject to say, but
no.
maybe we'll get something down the line. Y'all really be able to see it better than what we can do with it. Now, that's me out there. That's my phone in my hand. I'm taking pictures from the truck. The truck's about 70 yards away. I'm across the creek behind a tree there.
Yeah.
Across the creek, trying to get to a point where I would have the same kind of setup I thought the creature had.
Okay.
And
to the best of your knowledge, how did your height compare to the creature?
I'm 6'2", and the problem was when I put in the picture. See what you just did? You zoomed it in. You zoomed the picture in, and not the. When you do that, and you take a screenshot of that, I'm afraid I degraded the distance. See, the distance you got looks more natural than what I got compared back and forth. But they're at least compatible in size. The main subject and myself.
Right.
It looks further back than I do, but I think I'd done just what you did. You brought it in and kind of expanded it. And when I took a screenshot of it, I think I enlarged it somewhere. It would have been further pushed back if I'd left it natural.
I think what it is also too is also by going back and analyzing this and going through and doing the recon with them, is there was leaves on the trees when we went back because we were unable to get back due to all the flooding and also the severe weather in the States at this time during the spring. And this subject was on that creek line on the other side, and it was a few yards to the right on over. It was hard to get the exact location. We were close to the area. We know that. But it's pretty much, I think, the same distance away. There is right behind that, too, or the side of that, there's another cornfield. And what's really odd, the right and left side. Mm-hmm. Okay. And the thing is it chose not to leave. It had a way out, but it chose to just stand there. And like I said, it was on the other side of the creek. And that drop off there is at least 6 foot drop off there.
When I was doing the picture reenactments, I made sure I got across the other side because I know I'd have to go downhill. And it was flat land there except where the creek had flooded, and there little spoil banks of teardrop down into the creek. And both sides had that going there where it flooded over the years. And Bud's like 50 yards. I'm at 70 yards. It's still zoomed in to the point where it's a bunch of cornfield that's not even showing. It's back toward the truck.
Yeah,
and
it is right here. And
I can't. I'm thinking I was just a little bit off to the left of where I need to be. Once I got home and took time to study it and study it, that I should have been up just a little bit further. But
we're pretty close.
Could have been back
look at how much clearer the whole picture is. I mean,
that's daytime thermals without any rain. That's
damn. Yeah, I mean the fog is it's having a huge effect on this.
Oh yeah.
I read up on that a little bit too when we were in Alabama with our friend's thermal, that the humidity, and I read that can be a problem.
That was the only place I could see that far over there at the time, was through that opening we just had your cursor, and that's where that picture came from.
Yes, but we believe that it was over more towards those vines that are growing up.
A little bit more to the right of them vines, it's another log down over there that you can see all the way across.
Right all over in there to the your right.
And this was a month later when it was starting to green.
Yes,
and that's greenbriers is growing up real thick there. They could have been there then, but we didn't walk all the way out there at that time. I mean, I went down there. We went down there during the daytime, took thermals. We went back at night. I think she thermaled me again and recorded it on the camera itself, and we put that together. And that's where I was standing across that creek.
See the field to the right? You can see the light in the background. That's all field back there, and that's
that black tree in the middle across the creek. It's got a tree going about 45 and kind of up to the. That's where I was standing, so in that vicinity, right in there, when I took the last picture, the furthest one out.
Eric said that he put this in the chat. I just want to read it. He said that the heat pattern is consistent with something with fur/hair versus a human wearing clothes. And he said, I like it. I think it's pretty interesting evidence. But I agree with Eric. Yeah, that's something I was thinking too. Is the, like I was saying earlier, the way the thermal hits on the subject. You know, you can see different parts of it, and as if it's, like there's hair covering it or something. But towards the abdomen, there's less hair or mud. Yeah, sure.
Could be mud. Could be leaf litter, debris. You know.
Agreed. It could be it could be all of that.
But every one of them creatures that night we seen may not have mud on them, but they all had been wet one time or another. The deer all appeared just a plain white outline like you would get if you looked out of your house, and a lot of them was close, and some of them was way off. We went all the way over to the buffalo pen that night too, and tried to get a shot of what that looked like, but I didn't get a picture that night. But it was interesting to see how their mane was compared to that creature's mane was, because they got the same kind of.
Very much so.
Right there to the. Go back to that picture, please. Just above this. Don't zoom in too much. I think we would have been on target if we'd have been to the right, in the right hand corner there, where the edge of the picture is, right in there. I think that's where the thing was, across over there. It
was over in there somewhere.
We went back and looked at it and come conclusion that she kept thinking she was seeing rocks on the side of the photo when we fanned it one time, and I believe it was a treetop that we found over there, and that put us in the vicinity. But I think we'd been better been closer to that treetop. We'd have been. There was one pushing the edge of the field up against the wood line, probably repelling the field or something a long time ago.
Yeah, we believe it's just up above the logo. Right. That if we want to be more precise with it, we were not able to see down through there and get more accurate. We first thought, Bud thought it was over further, but I believe it's over a little bit further. I don't think
I could have seen it walk down the hill behind the greenbrier, even though it was not maybe as thick. But it's so thick in there right now. What was hanging in there, it would have to walk in some kind of opening. Right in there, that could be the big tree there, that dark-looking tree right where you just come from. It's hard to say. That right there, that could have been where they went to, but they definitely come over there somewhere in that vicinity. That's where they came through there. We look back on it now. That's what I put on
the tree right there. It disappeared behind had to have been a pretty substantial tree.
Yep.
That looks like a 12-inch tree.
There's more trees back in there.
It's hard to tell. It could be that, it could be one right behind all that greenbrier on the right-hand side. It's got the more leaves on top. That might be the bigger tree in the area.
Well, and all of this greenbrier and this primrose stuff, that just because there wasn't any leaves doesn't mean the vines weren't there.
They're
That-
there.
They were there. They were
There ain't
there.
a whole lot of giant trees over there. We probably should have looked a little harder. Maybe we could have come up. There's one right by your cursor to the right. It looks huge, but I don't think I could see over there to see it to start with.
We in next month we will be going back, and we're
looking to recon it again and get lined out on
yes.
the area again as far as the location.
Okay, let me show you what. Go back to share screen. This one. So the one thing that concerns me is in a lot of these pictures you see the eyes are black.
Yes.
And from what I've seen, and I've been doing a little bit of research, there's when you look at other animals, I was looking up AGM Rattler reviews and stuff.
Right.
The eyes are hotter.
Mm-hmm. That's the way it was in that second thermal that we showed you, that the eyes are hot.
Yeah, but but it's like, how does it change?
I have no idea. Those are still shots.
Here's a picture of me. I was just playing around.
Right.
And you
right.
can see my eyes.
Yeah.
But
you can see the eye sockets is what you're seeing.
Yeah, and I'm just. Oh wait a minute, that's not the one I want. But in this other one,
see, my outline is completely white up around my head.
I have no idea.
Even this one, it's like the eyes get dark. You would think that they would be brighter.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't either. That's what I don't get. I mean, and
I know they're sunk back a little bit, but I don't know if that would make a difference for the heat.
I don't know if. See here, you can see this. This is white hot.
Yes.
And but look at this. This is
point.
Wait a minute. In white hot, in black and white, that eye shine's making it look even hotter too.
Yeah,
that's you're seeing also with that.
But look at the difference between his legs and his coat, and you notice the thick
mane is dark, or his neck,
and that little patch right there. That's a thicker patch of fur on them dogs, and
right, could be shadow.
And a dog's nose is always cold if he's healthy.
Yeah,
if he's healthy, he's usually wet nose and he's cold.
Yeah, the thought crossed my mind that maybe somebody had, playing devil's advocate.
Sure.
I was trying to figure out, what else it could be, just like you were. And let me see if I can.
Those are stills. That's all I know.
Yeah.
They're just still shots.
But this one here, it's like you can't see nothing. This one looks like it's kneeling. And but I don't know.
No,
that's not what I was looking for. But I don't know. The thought crossed my mind it could have been somebody trying to fool you, and in a mask, or a group of people, and the fact that the eyes are cool, maybe that could be like the holes in a mask or something. I'm just speculating, but how did they get the rest of it so warm? I just don't know. I mean, did anybody else? I'm just devil's out. Did anybody else know?
No.
You guys were going out there.
No, there was one person that knew, and that would be Mark Green from Cedar Creek's Farmstead, and that's it.
Yeah, but he didn't know we was going to even make it.
No, he
with
didn't
the weather
even
and
know.
all. We never talked to him after 2 or 3 days before that. We left home.
And how now here's where I'm going to go with that is how would that person predict that we would drive through that area?
Well, LBL is a big place.
A real big place.
And we went all over.
I mean, not only that, you go to the end of the driveway where he's at, you could have turned left and never even went that way at all. You could have went right and went that way, and then I could have turned off another road on top of a hill before I ever got there.
Right.
For that to be plausible, you'd have to have a tracker on my truck.
Oh,
And also be in the room. It had to be bugged
Mhm.
because we didn't even know up to 9:45. We didn't even know he was going out.
Exactly. That
We didn't have any pattern to be patterned. You know what I'm saying?
right. We just chose to go out spur of the moment.
Because we was probably was going to get stuck over at that meet and greet if it wouldn't be. If they'd have had it, we wouldn't even had no outing. Thermal even. It was so many weird things came together for us to even make it. Whatever we got, we got. But I mean, it was just everything we had to line up out of whatever because we had so many things pulling away from us to even go out. It's just a wonder that it lined up to where we could go out.
right.
He not even being there. I was told that too. I was going to meet y'all down there. I didn't know he was going right up to X amount. Up to Thursday at 9:00 at night. We didn't know we was going to turn around and go home or keep on going.
Yeah.
Right. And the thing is LBL is an awful big place, and we went all over. So I'm gonna scratch that one.
They were sure one of them senior citizens we seen around there.
But like I said, it's all. We're just trying to.
Believe you me, I thought about the same thing. I'm thinking, if a guy's out there, he's going to have a slicker suit on. We wouldn't know what a Dogman mask would do anyway. Plus, I don't think I'd be stumbling around there where you can't see, looking through a damn mask anyway.
Oh, that's a terrible idea. You're in good old boy country, and
there was severe storms. We had to.
There's a lot of people that shot and asked questions later if they was wanting to poach one.
Well, we had to put our vehicles under cover because you had such severe hail and the storms were so severe that anybody in not in their right mind was the only ones that would have been out there. And like I said, you do have that too. You do have that too. We had no business going out there. I mean, there was 100-mile-an-hour winds, and
maybe that's why they were on the move, is because they were figuring on people not
being there.
Well, there was a break in the weather, number one, and we even watched a coyote hunt through the thermal, and it was what'd you say? How far back was it?
5 minutes, or maybe 5 minutes up the road, or 10 minutes up the road
from the coyote hunt.
And I got a picture of it on my original. Where I got it? I got it on my phone or somewhere of the hunt, and they just four of them looking away from us, not toward the truck. They're looking up the field away from us.
Right.
They're just white outlines. There's no dark spots on them. I can't answer I'm like you. I looked at that. I went out here in the yard and done the same thing. She took the thermal. I walked across the yard for two houses and see if I could get the same distance to see what I was going to look like heat signature wise. And I was mostly all white. I wouldn't hide anything. I don't understand. When that thing turned backwards when we first seen it, if you'd have been going through there without a thermal, it was worth the flip. You'd have drove right on by that joke or whatever it was. And if we'd have done that, if you'd have want to be seen, you would probably been turning around there flagging right toward people, not hiding in the bushes. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it probably assumed that you couldn't see it, and it was probably like, well,
exactly. But if I would have been,
that's what it was.
If I was wanting to be
exactly what it was.
If I was wanting to be showing, pranking somebody, I wouldn't be hid.
No. Well, and they could have hid if they wanted to. They weren't.
Sure.
But they knew we had a thermal anyway.
Yeah.
Night vision wouldn't go do you no good on that because you couldn't see back there with night vision and pick him out till you found him with a thermal anyway.
Well, what I did find interesting when I came back home and did a little bit of research, like I said, we were in between storms at that time. The weather was nasty. Also, now I forgot where I was going with. Oh, the night before, on the 14th, there was a full moon, and there was also a lunar eclipse, which I found interesting. So that's something that I have documented along with this sighting.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull this up here. I'm
Nobody
probably
can
gonna have,
see
you're gonna have
that.
to probably do something
No.
with it. Back up. That's what the weather was like that weekend. And there's plenty of red crosses. There were fatalities that weekend. And right there, I had a line drawn. If you can see it in red right there, that's where we was, just barely out of that line of stuff happening. You can
Yeah.
barely see it. See it now?
Yeah.
I just want people to know you can look this up. I looked it up. I didn't know they had it on there. It's March 15th storms is what I looked up, and it's Google. It was Wikipedia. It had so many fatalities and stuff that weekend, and that many bands of bad weather. That's all on there documented.
So
Well,
the
it wasn't
thing is,
a storm. You probably wouldn't have seen it.
right.
We were told that by another man.
It was great talking with you guys,
Great
meeting
meeting
and
you.
chatting.
You too.
And I really say I like the video. In the future, I think we're going to try real hard to figure out why the eye sockets were cold.
Good idea.
And but I like the fur consistent with that of an animal. You know, it didn't look like a shirt or what. You know?
Right.
So
I wish I could answer all that, but it don't make sense. Me either.
right.
I agree.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Safe
Thank
travel.
you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Well, so Joe and Pat, if somebody wants to get a hold of you or reach out to you, you know, is that something that you welcome? Are you are down for that?
Yes, to a certain degree. We've had a little bit of that, but the North American Dogman Project, if you contact Jody Cook, you can get a hold of us. He knows exactly how to get a hold of us.
Start recording. Okay. 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 Okay, it stopped. Whatever it is, it stopped. I see it turning its head or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, look. Zoom in. Zoom in. Hey, I'm being recorded and I'm cussing. What is that? What is that? Okay, back it back out. Back it. Back it back out. Back it out. Back me out, back out. Okay, this thing is watching us. It's looking at me. I got it. Yes, it is. That's it.
Pull up a little bit when you can. Pull up with the thing a little bit.
Like that?
Yeah, a little bit higher.
Okay.
We might move up and make a difference. Let me move a little and see if you can come up with a better signature.
No, it's still there. No.
Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Don't be afraid or discouraged. For the Lord your God is with you. That's what he said. The Red Dirt Cryptid crew is on a mission, headed deep into Dogman territory, so let's roll. Are they they paranormal or supernatural or flesh and bone? Who knows? Dogman is a mystery. 9 foot tall, a bright canine, it ain't supposed to exist. 500 plus pounds, the mystery of Dogman. Searching for the truth, are they Nephilim agenda? Government, biological weapon, or another of God's creation? Red dirt cryptids, yeah. Yeah, deep dark woods hold the answers. Boots on the ground, the truth ain't found on the couch. Breaking the paradigm. The Lord has got us 6, he told me fear not. Time to walk the walk, red dirt cryptids digging in deep. The witnesses ain't all wrong, swimming in a sea of conspiracies. Your dogs ain't just barking at the wind.